learning to trust yourself. Welcome to the Hopefulist with me, Wendy McClure. This is where we turn those nasty, negative thoughts into positive and work toward a happy, fulfilled life. Now, let's get started. Thank you for joining me today on the Hopefulist. I hope that you are back from listening to a previous episode. If this is your first time, welcome. And I hope that you enjoy and that you come back time and time again. Go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button, and then you will be notified each and every time a new episode is released. I have to do a little bit of tough love with you guys today because, since I've started this whole Hopefulist idea, my initial thought and hope was to be like a quote of the day. You find a quote that you like, really resonates with you. You cut it out. You paste it up at something at work, next to your computer or at the desk. You put it on the refrigerator at home. You pop it onto your bathroom mirror. But after a week or so, you really don't read it anymore, right? It's not something that's in the forefront of your life. It kind of fades into the background. So what I would hope and what my plan was with this whole Hopefulist business was to be that little quote that you find and that resonates with you so deeply. And that will help you to keep up your inspiration and your positivity throughout the day. And I think that some of it has worked. I think that some of it has really helped people. I think that people like to see the quotes, but I don't think that it's enough. I think that you need more. You need more than quotes. You need more than a couple of lessons with a different topic each week. You need to actually, and here comes the hard part, do the work. Yes. I've been racking my brain for years trying to come up with ideas to help people live better lives, to challenge themselves to live to their full potential, but without actually having to get up off the couch. And what I've come to finally realize is it's just not how it works. It's just not going to happen if you are not willing to turn off the TV or carve out a little time for yourself to get quiet, to figure out what you really want, and to figure out the path to getting there, and then committing to that journey. It takes all of those steps, and nobody can do that for you. You have to do it yourself. Is it scary? Oh, yes. Is it hard? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Always. And with that, I will go into the quote of the day. Do not shrink back from something you desire because it's too risky. Just being alive is risky. Are we trying to get safely to our deaths, people? Is that what the goal is? To get to death safely? You've got this one life. Do all that you've ever wanted to do. Stop putting it off. You are running out of time. With this comes a knowing, a trust that we have in ourselves. So let me ask you this. Do you trust yourself? It's probably a question you don't even ask yourself. So what is your initial feeling without putting a lot of thought into it? What feels like the right answer? Are you asking, what the heck do you mean? Well, what I mean is, do you believe you can handle anything that comes your way? Do you know that you will always be okay no matter what happens? Do you have the ability to see beyond your current circumstances, knowing that great things are waiting for you? These are pretty deep questions. And they're ones that we need to be asking ourselves. We tend not to want to delve into these types of things because it's hard to face the answers. But this is why it's so important, imperative, to dig deep into our fears, sensitivities, and limiting beliefs. If you don't explore how you really feel, you will continue to operate your life on autopilot. And when you are on autopilot, you get by instead of getting exactly what you want. When you go through life without a roadmap, without a plan, you are just reacting to everything that happens to you instead of creating what you want to happen. Right? Stop coasting through life. Stop just reacting to everything that happens. Start being the creator of your life. And hey, I do have some good news for you. You have survived every single trial and tribulation you have faced thus far in your life. You have a 100% success rate, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. So you already know you are capable of so much. You have likely gone through things that you would never wish upon anyone. And look at you, still here, still getting up every day and doing this thing called life. But can you do it better? That is why I always say live life better. I want you to live your life better than you are now. And the ultimate in that would be trusting in yourself. Know that you are a survivor, and you will keep on doing that over and over again, no matter what you have to face. The truth of the matter is a lack of trust is very common in yourself. It's often why people stay in unsatisfying relationships, continue in frustrating jobs, and don't try new things. We are most comfortable when we know what to expect. Our brains are literally wired to seek the same things over and over because it knows how to respond. That's a survival mechanism. So if you are going to a job every day that you hate, your brain is telling you, well, at least you know how your day's going to go. And the brain's okay with that. And that is why it tells you things like, you can't quit. What will you do? You may hate your job, but it's a paycheck, pays the bills, gets you some of the things you want. Sure, you get to pay your bills, but what else? Is that the life that we're all trying to lead? Just paying the bills and basic survival? We have evolved way past more than just mere survival. We are meant to thrive. We are meant to live out our wildest dreams. We are capable of doing whatever we want as long as we trust in our ability to handle what life throws at us. It's the same thing with staying in unhealthy relationships. Our brain is doing all it can to keep you there because that is where it feels safe. Even if you're unhappy, even if you are miserable, even if you are indeed unsafe. We fear leaving a relationship and starting a new life because that is some scary stuff. But when you believe in your ability to always be okay, no matter what, you become unstoppable. You know that you can do whatever you want and you will always survive, just like you always have until now. Remember, it's a 100% success rate in surviving every day that has ever happened to you. 100%. It's been said that people who are controlling lack a trust in themselves. It's why they try to control every little thing. They are afraid they won't be able to handle an outcome that is different than the one they have planned. They lack a belief in themselves that they can adapt and adjust to what needs to be done in the moment. So they micromanage every little thing to avoid things going wrong. Now, granted, nobody wants things to get wrong. We all want to avoid bumbling things up. But there is a difference between planning something and trying to make something so perfect there is no room for something to go wrong, which really is impossible anyway. You are taking away the spontaneity, which can often be the most fun. This is definitely something I struggle with. I am a total control freak, but I'm getting better. I've put myself in control rehab, and I've loosened up quite a bit. And I got to tell you, it is so freeing. I no longer white knuckle everything in my life. I'm not constantly on edge waiting for something to go off course so I can race in and try to correct it before it ruins whatever doesn't follow the plan. We have this idea in our head on how things should be and go, and when it doesn't, we panic. We don't know what to do. But things aren't that dire. So what if everything doesn't go as planned? That's when we wing it. And usually have a lot more fun with it. Yeah, there's some scary times. There's some sleepless nights. There's some concern. But it's not life-ending. I used to be live on the radio every day. So there can be very little mistakes without looking like an idiot. That is probably another reason I had such control issues. There were no second takes in live radio. If you messed up, you did it in front of all of your listeners and your boss and your partner and your coworkers. But here's the thing. People really don't expect you to be perfect, especially all the time. In fact, they actually kind of like it when you mess up. It makes you more human. I made a bet with my on-air partner one time, and whoever lost the bet had to do the other person's job in addition to their own. So when I lost the bet, I had to do the news, the weather, and the other duties I did every day, in addition to running the board, pushing all the buttons that turned on the mics, made the commercials run, and all the technical aspects of making the show run. I remember at the time my boss had said, maybe we can just pretend you're doing both so everything goes well. I told him it would be fun to see what happens. In fact, I told him that it would be better if it all blew up in my face, especially because I was such a control freak and people knew that about me. Without getting into much detail, I had forgotten to take the computer out of auto mode, which automatically plays the next element, which is, triggers the next song, triggers the next commercial, what have you. There was a news sounder that, since I forgot to take it out of auto mode, triggered the commercial while I was reading the news. It was a master cluster F. Now, the commercials is playing. I'm still live on the air saying, what do I do? How do I fix it? My partner's running around the other side of the board to try and fix everything. It was freaking hilarious. And honestly, one of my favorite memories to this day. And guess what? I didn't die. I even kept my job. And I think people liked me a little bit more because of that incident, because it made me more human. Because let's be honest, we love to see other people mess up when the outcome is funny, not when it sucks, but when it's funny. Like, we don't want anybody to fall, but when we see them falling on America's Funniest Videos, we laugh our butts off. So let's loosen a bit up, okay? Don't keep such a tight grip on everything. Don't take everything so seriously. Know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. It will all be okay. Have a little fun. Life isn't as serious as we make it out to be. We are supposed to be having fun and enjoying life. It's much more than survival at this point. We are meant to thrive. So learning to trust yourself and the knowledge that you can get through anything is the key to freedom and living a life you truly desire. If you want to get out of that relationship, come up with an escape plan. What will you need to venture out on your own? What is it going to take? And ask for help. People really do want to help. It's the same with getting out of a miserable job. You spend so much time at work. Don't be unhappy. Figure out another way to make money. Look for jobs where you can work from home. Maybe you can consult on something. Maybe you can start your own business doing something you love. Make a plan. Believe in yourself and the fact that you are capable of doing whatever it is that you want. You can do it. You have the power. You always have. You just need to believe in and trust yourself. That's simple. Always has been, always will be. If you like this episode, please let your friends know. And now I would like you to go out there and have a badass week, kick some butt, and know that I'm here cheering you on. Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist. Now, don't you feel good? Make sure you come back next week. See you then.